Good morning, 3GS. Hi, it's Miss Solomon. How are you today? So here it is. Today is Tuesday, June 16th. And yesterday we began our presentations of our change projects. I'm so moved. I'm so proud of you. And you guys are inspiring me as someone who can further inspire children and encourage them to feel empowered that they can have an impact on this world through you sharing your knowledge, through teaching others, and sharing your wishes for the world. You certainly can make a difference. And I think you have already just by sharing what you did, your change project with the class. So I'm looking forward to hearing the remainder of our class's change projects today. But what is also important is that we all need to get onto the change Flipgrid and view each other's change projects and like them and respond to your classmates and share them with your families, because the more people who get to see them, the greater impact we can have. So I will see all of you, every member of 3GS, today for our final Google Meet at 10:30 to 11:30. So if you can't be there exactly 10:30, come as soon as you can and stay as long as you can. And I will be looking forward to hearing everybody's projects. So what's on the menu for 3GS today? Well, today you will have the final chapters, the conclusion of the Tale of Despereaux at the end of this video. You'll also be doing Mission 7, Lesson 7 of Zern. Check out our virtual classroom and click on some more links. And for mindfulness today, you're going to take a happiness walk. And our special today is actually art with Miss Arango, so it's a treat. And you are going to make public works of art, and that's another way you can be the change you wish to see in the world. So let's get to it. Chapter 50, in which the princess says his name, from the Tale of Despereaux. "Princess," Despereaux shouted, "Princess, I have come to save you." The Princess Bee heard her name. She looked up. "Despereaux," she whispered, and then she shouted it. "Despereaux!" Reader, nothing is sweeter in this sad world than the sound of someone you love calling your name. Nothing. For Despereaux, the sound was worth everything: his lost tail, his trip to the dungeon and back out of it and back into it again. He ran towards the princess, but Roscoe, baring his teeth, blocked the mouse's way. The princess cried, "Oh no, Rat, please don't hurt him. He is my friend." Mig said, "Don't worry, princess. I will save the mousie." She took the kitchen knife. She aimed it to cut off the rat's head, but she missed her mark. "Whoopsie," said Nigariso. Now we're on to chapter 51. What is that smell? "Ow!" screamed Roscoe. He turned to look at where his tail had been, and as he did, Despereaux drew his needle and placed the sharp tip of it right where the rat's heart should be. "Don't move," said Despereaux. "I will kill you." "Ha, ha, ha," Botticelli laughed from the sidelines. "Exactly." He slapped his tail on the floor in approval. "Absolutely delightful. A mouse is going to kill a rat. Oh, all of this is much better than I anticipated. I love it when mice come to the dungeon." And here is an image of Despereaux pointing his needle sword and saying, "Don't move, I will kill you." "Let me see," said the other rats, pushing and shoving. "Stand back," Botticelli told them, still laughing. "Let the mouse do his work." Despereaux held his trembling needle against Roscoe's heart. The mouse knew that as a knight, it was his duty to protect the princess. But would killing the rat really make the darkness go away? Despereaux bowed his head ever so slightly, and as he did, his whiskers brushed against the rat's nose. Roscoe sniffed. "What is that smell?" he asked. "Mousy blood," shouted one rat. "Blood and bones," shouted another. "You're smelling tears," said Botticelli. "Tears and thwarted love." "Exactly," said Roscoe, "and yet there's something else." He sniffed again, and the smell of soup crashed through his soul like a great wave, bringing with it the memory of light, the chandelier, the music, the laughter, everything, all the things that were not, would never, could never be available to him as a rat. "Soup," moaned Roscoe, and he began to cry. "Boo!" shouted Botticelli. "Sss!" hissed the other rats. "Kill me," said Roscoe. He fell down before Despereaux. "It will never work. All I ever wanted was some light. That is why I brought the princess here. Really, just for some beauty, some light of my own." "Please," shouted Botticelli, "do kill him. He is a miserable excuse for a rat." No, Despero, said the princess. Don't kill him. Despero lowered his needle. He turned and looked at the pea. Boo, shouted Botticelli again. Kill him, kill him. And this goodness is making me sick. I lost my appetite. Gore, shouted Mig, waving her knife. I'll kill him. No, wait, said the princess. Roscoe, she said to the rat. What, he said. Tears were falling out of his eyes and creeping down his whiskers and dripping onto the dungeon floor. And then the princess took a deep breath and put a hand on her heart. I think, reader, that she was feeling the same thing that Despero had felt when he was faced with his father begging him for forgiveness. That is, P was aware suddenly of how fragile her heart was, how much darkness was inside it, fighting always with the light. She did not like the rat. She would never like the rat, but she knew what she must do to save her own heart. And so here are the words that the princess spoke to her enemy. She said, Roscoe, would you like some soup? The rat sniffed. Don't torment me, he said. I promise you, said the princess, that if you lead us out of here, I will get cook to make you some soup, and you can eat it in the banquet hall. Speaking of eating, shouted one of the rats, give us the mousey. Yeah, shouted another. Hand over the mouse. Who would want him now, said Botticelli. The flavor of him will be ruined. All that forgiveness and goodness. Blah! I, for one, am leaving. Yes, said the pea. Soup in the banquet hall? Roscoe asked the princess. Yes, said the pea. Really? Truly, I promise. Gore, shouted Mig. Soup is illegal. But soup is good, said Despero. Yes, said the pea, isn't it? The princess bent down before the mouse. You are my knight, she said to him with a shining needle, and I am glad that you found me. So let's go upstairs. Let's eat some soup. And reader, they did. Chapter 52, the final chapter. Happily ever after. But the question you wanted answered, I know, is did they live happily ever after? Yes and no. Well, what of Roscoe? Did he live happily ever after? Well, the Princess Pea gave him free access to the upstairs of the castle, and he was allowed to go back and forth from the darkness of the dungeon to the light of the upstairs. But alas, he never really belonged in either place. The sad fate, I am afraid, of those whose hearts break and then mend in crooked ways. But the rat, in seeking forgiveness, did manage to shed some small light, some happiness into another life. How? Roscoe, reader, told the princess about the prisoner who had once owned a red tablecloth, and the princess saw to it that the prisoner was released. And Roscoe led the man up out of the dungeon and to his daughter, Miggery. Mig, as you might have guessed, did not get to be a princess, but her father, to atone for what he had done, treated her like one for the rest of her days. And what of Despero? Did he live happily ever after? Well, he did not marry the princess, if that is what you mean by happily ever after. Even in a world as strange as this one, a mouse and a princess cannot marry. But, reader, they can be friends. And they were. Together, they had many adventures. Those adventures, however, are another story, and this story, I'm afraid, must now draw to a close. But before you leave, reader, imagine this. Imagine an adoring king and a glowing princess, a serving girl with a crown on her head and a rat with a spoon on his, all gathered around a table in a banquet hall. In the middle of the table, there is a great kettle of soup. Sitting in the place of honor, right next to the princess, is a very small mouse with big ears. And peeking out from behind a dusty velvet curtain, looking in amazement at the scene before them, are 4 other mice. Mon Dieu, look, look, says Antoinette. He lives, and he seems such the happy mouse. Forgiven, whispers Lester. Cripes, says Furlough. Unbelievable. Just so, says the threadmaster Hovis, smiling. Just so. And reader, it is just so, isn't it? The end. And that is the remarkable ending of a remarkable book, The Tale of Despero. Thank you for being on this reading journey with me. I love you, 3HS. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.